Hey guys, what's going on? Antonio Carter here, 401k millionaire. In this video, I'm going to be telling you or teaching you the difference between debt consolidation versus debt settlement. Okay, some people may call this something else, debt reconstruction. There's many terms out there, and there's even many terms for debt consolidation. However, which one should you do? Is it good for you? Does it mess with your credit score? Does it not? Does it stay on your credit history after you apply for it? Is it a personal loan? There's so many questions to be asked. I haven't gone through both, but I have experience with both, and I'm going to explain that in this video. So stay through the end, because I'm also going to be providing you with a few resources in case you decide to make that leap, that jump, that next step to applying to one of those type of programs. Stay tuned. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm in my office right now because I am a contractor. I contract myself out with IT work, and this is one of the things that I recommend that you're doing. It's June 22nd, 2022. Apparently, recession is knocking at the door, and one of the things I've been preaching, and I still do preach, is that in hard times, increase your skill set so that you can always be marketable. And that way you don't have to be worried about being laid off and not getting another job and all of that other stuff. But that's for another video. In this particular video, we are touching on debt consolidation and debt reconstruction, aka debt settlement. All right. The thing about this is typically the individual looking into these two things are looking to pretty much, you maybe have a whole bunch of bills all over the place, a whole bunch of credit cards, a whole bunch of unsecured loans or something of that nature, and you're making multiple payments on these things. They're getting out of hand. Interest rates kicked in. Maybe you had an introductory rate of 0, and now it's like 18 to 22 to 25%. The interest rate is increasing as we know it. The Fed just came on TV last week and said that they're increasing the interest rate. So it is being more expensive to carry money, to carry debt. And you see the writing on the wall, and you realize that you need to bring everything into one lump sum, one payment, so that you can pay off that bad boy and not worry about being in debt anymore. If that is you, then you need to continue watching. If this is not for you, you probably need to leave. Another thing, I speak kind of slow. I am a teacher by nature, so I like to explain things. If there's a particular segment that you want to hear, I have timestamps down below in the description where you can click and skip to that part. So let's go ahead and jump to this bad boy. All right. I've been in a situation where getting into massive debt, it gets tough because payments can get out of hand, especially if you don't really have a real plan in order to pay that back. If you've watched any of my previous videos, the whole reason for me doing 401k minority millionaire is, one, because I'm black. That makes me a minority. Two, on my journey to being a millionaire, one of the things that I am in currently is massive amounts of debt, $60,000 in debt, and this is my journey of me getting out of it. And so what I've been able to do thus far, I have online businesses. I'm also a business consultant. A lot of people out there, don't let them lie to you and tell you that they're making millions of dollars, because there's tons of business owners in my shoes and your shoes. I'm actually doing okay because I have a photo booth business that brings in money. I know how to generate tons of revenue and profits with affiliate marketing online. And I've also started a blog. I have 2 blogs actually, and each of all of my business ventures, my goal is to hit $100,000 within 12 to 18 months. So hopefully in a short period of time, when I say short, I mean, 2 years time, I'm able to create this massive $1 million portfolio with these things. In the meantime, I've spent a ton of money on things that I should not have been spending on. Tons of coaching. I paid $10,000 for a set of coaching that I had no business paying for. I paid $5,000 for coaching. I probably have about $20,000 or not 20, about 20,000, maybe a little bit more in debt when it comes to just coaching alone to increase my skill set with my online products. Now, a lot of these things are high level, and I have the ability to create programs that cost other individuals $5,000. I'll be able to make $5,000 a pop. And so paying that off will be nothing. However, in the meantime, I've sat on my hands and done nothing. Life happens. And then you just have accumulated a whole bunch of debt. Some people get into medical issues, and some people have babies. I just had a baby 2 weeks ago. My wife had a baby 2 weeks ago. I helped create the baby. I didn't deliver the baby. But you guys get the point here, okay? And so I've looked into debt consolidation. And the reason I've done that is because a lot of my introductory rates ran out with my credit cards. I have some business credit cards, 12 to 18 months, 0%. And, with the pandemic, with all sorts of other stuff, right? Business credit is supposed to be made for you to make money. And when you already have a profitable business, then you go get business credit so that you can purchase more stuff and expand and pay that debt off. What I did was I took something that wasn't really necessarily a finished product yet. It was still an idea, and I spent the money with the idea that I'm going to eventually make that money back. Wrong. You don't need to do that, all right? If that's you, stop right now, ASAP. But the debt consolidation typically comes in a form of a loan. Your loan is given to you kind of like a car loan, a house loan, or whatever it is. You're allotted a certain amount of money based upon a certain APR or interest rate, and then you make monthly payments on that. And on your credit report or your credit history, it's looked as being okay, not necessarily the best thing because you're shopping around for the best rates, but it's not really a negative thing. And until you pay that loan halfway off, 50% of the loan off, things don't start looking good to the creditors for future loans and future credit cards and all that stuff until you're 50% paid off with your credit, with that personal loan. But it works out great because you're not doing anything negative as far as like filing bankruptcy or something like that that will harm your credit for the next 7 to 10 years. Now, this is phenomenal. Again, I like it. If you're able to apply for that, that's great. It also matters what type of credit score you have. If you have a high credit score, the better rate you can get. If you have a low credit score, then the worse the credit score is going to be. With that said, the credit settlement or credit reconstruction, it's cool because it does the same thing that debt consolidation does, except for a few things. Most of the time, the companies work on your behalf so that you can get some awesome deals. The monthly payments will typically be lower than the debt consolidation, but that's because they are negotiating a lower amount, right? If you've had credit for a long time, you've probably paid in massive amounts over what you need to pay over the course of like 10 years, right? These companies act as lawyers to negotiate lower payments for you. And let's say you have $100,000, but you can get it down to $50,000. And these credit companies will say, okay, that's what the reconstruction is. However, a lot of times after you've done this, your avenues, your vehicles, your different accounts of like the credit cards and everything, instead of being able to reuse them after you pay it off and after it's been negotiated, they will shut it down. They will close the accounts and you will not be able to have access to those things again. So let's take my scenario. If I have 6 credit cards and I choose the debt reconstruction option, they will tell me they can provide me a $500 payment per month, which would be phenomenal because it would save me a lot of money per month. And I would have to shut down all 6. I would have to close all 6 of my accounts. Now, this affects me negatively in some ways because in my credit score, I won't have any credit history after that. Not only that, other credit cards won't like it because they've seen that somebody's negotiated with other credit card accounts that I have, and they'll say, well, they racked up credit with them, who's to say that they won't rack up credit with me and then just try to negotiate a lesser amount after they did all this stuff? They just went shopping and then waited for 10 years and didn't pay anything back, and then asked for me to give them a fraction of amount to pay back. So your credit score will tank. The credit score, the credit settlement companies will tell you not to call it tank. It's just going to be a decrease in your credit score. I don't know how long it will take you to get a high credit score after you do that. All right. Some people say 18 months that it comes back, maybe 95%. But I'm here to tell you, it may not be worth it unless you're in a really desperate need to get that, to consolidate everything. All right. That's for those who have no choice, who really need it, who don't have a way out. You don't need to go into bankruptcy. If you're considering bankruptcy, look into debt reconstruction and see if that could be done. But if you're able to make a few bucks, you're able to float above water for a little bit, and perhaps open up some businesses, try something. I know I teach affiliate marketing where I show people how to make money without spending money per se, or very, very, very little investment. You have the ability to create six-figure incomes in like 9 months and stuff, in 12 months. Therefore, you can afford to wait on that and look more so at the debt consolidation route. So I'm here to tell you, please don't just go for debt reconstruction or debt settlement. They will paint a beautiful picture for you. They will tell you that nothing's going to happen to your credit score and all this stuff. Do your homework, okay? Do your homework. And so one company that works very well is National Debt Relief. When it comes to debt reconstruction, they're very known. I've seen them run commercials. I've known about them for years. Actually, Michelle Schroeder-Gardner, I believe her name is. She has a money blog. She's preached about them for many, many, many years. They're phenomenal. But I would work with them. Apply for them. See if you can get a debt reconstruction account open, and they'll work with you. They'll give you some phenomenal numbers. As far as debt consolidation, somebody who I've used previously is Lending Club. They're pretty good. They give you some pretty good rates. There's Startup. I think it's called Startup. Hold on, let me check. It's a good thing I just checked. It's Upstart, not Startup. Upstart is pretty good, but Upstart is good for those who don't really have a high credit score. But if you're having $1,000 payment somewhere in like 6 other credit cards, that's $100 and $68, and you're able to consolidate all into like a $500 payment and pay everything off, it might be worth it. It's just like a school loan, right? A lot of students pay that for their life, not realizing that they can get debt consolidation and pay it off in 3 to 5 years. And now all of a sudden you're in this phenomenon where you're paying off your school loan. Another company I would highly recommend is SoFi. Typically, SOFI.com. Typically, SoFi deals with people with better credit scores. But give them a try. Give them a shot. Depending on the amount that you need, you typically can get a good deal. So those are the companies I would recommend that you deal with. Okay, SoFi, Upstart, and Lending Club if you're looking for debt consolidation. And then debt construction, debt settlement, look at National Debt Relief. They're pretty awesome. They have a shield as a logo. It's red and white. That's how you know it's the correct company. Let me know in the comments down below what's worked for you, or if you're thinking about it, or any questions that you may have. I'm very experienced in this. Again, I've helped people, I've helped companies get business credit for about 3 years. And I still help people do that. If you're interested, holler at me, drop me some comments down below, or maybe I'll leave a link down in the comments. I still have my connections, and definitely I'm advising you to be smart about it if that's the direction you're going to go. But hopefully this brought some clarity to some things. There's a lot of stuff out there on the internet. You're talking to somebody with experience. I've gone through it all. I've gone most of the way of getting debt settlement until I really began to ask more questions and read the papers. I realized that I did not need to go that direction. I was not willing to have my credit score tank for 1.5 years before I started seeing an improvement, when I could just knock it out in 1.5 years. Nonetheless, give me a thumbs up if this video made sense. I hope you like my background. I'm going to be switching up my background every now and then, so don't be surprised. All right, guys, we'll talk with you later. Don't forget to subscribe.